that America will become a land sharing the fruits of the land, not for the favored few, not to satisfy greed, but that all may live in a land in which the Lord has provided an abundance sufficient for the luxury and convenience of the people in general, I think.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the ghost of General Smedley Butler here with the ghost of Judge James Horton, and we're the Yellowhammers. How you doing, Judge?
I'm good, General. How you doing this week?
So far, so good. The flu hit me.
Yikes! You don't still have it, do you?
Took me a couple of days to get over that, but I'm back and ready to rock. Enjoy this new spring weather.
You tell me this as I'm sitting 2 feet from you. You know that could have been a text earlier.
No, I'm 2 days out of it. It's
Good,
fine.
good.
All right, Judge. So, news topic of today is that the White House floated creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States.
Now they've been floating that, right? So what's different this time?
They want to use the gold reserve in Fort Knox to do it.
Oh, so they decided the gold reserve is actually there.
Yes.
You know, there was that big conspiracy theory that there's actually no gold in Fort Knox.
There's gold in Fort Knox.
There's a shitload of gold in Fort Knox.
Well, there's two places. There's gold in Fort Knox and there's gold in, I believe, New York. But the theory is that they sell the gold, buy Bitcoin. That way it's safer currency or money. And I think this is one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard. And it's the clearest rug pull of the American Treasury I've ever seen.
I agree on all counts, but I want to ask a clarifying question first. Are we just talking about Bitcoin, or are we talking about like shitcoin too? So are we talking about Dogecoin? Or are we talking about the Trump coin? We're talking about the Haktua girls coin.
Nobody knows, because in the proposed legislation, they don't define which coin they want to buy. There's a proposed legislation by a Wyoming senator to do a strategic coin of something, or create a strategic reserve of coins.
Or do we create a new coin, the digital dollar?
Well, I tell you what's going to happen. It's going to be mostly Bitcoin, because that's what Elon, Peter Thiel, and all these elite assholes.
And truthfully, if you were going to do it, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the way to go, because they're theoretically the most stable of the coins. Correct.
But they're looking at buying up 5% of all coins in those areas.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If we take the U.S. gold reserve and we buy Bitcoin with it, what happens to the investments that these people have already made, the holders of Bitcoin?
They make a lot of money.
Make a shitload of money, right?
Oh, yeah. But now the problem is that once the United States literally empties its bank of gold and they buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Melania coin,
whichever one,
whatever the Treasury decides they want to buy. I mean, I haven't seen the bill, but the overall synopsis from what I've seen does not designate a single coin for them to buy. So the Treasury has the ability to buy whatever coin. Now, this looks like the greatest theft of American money I've ever witnessed. Because all they're going to do is, one, pump up their own money that they have in Bitcoin, which actually has no value other than its untraceable currency.
Right. Other than we agree collectively that it has some value.
The difference between a Bitcoin and a dollar is that a dollar, if you refuse to take it, I can go to the courts and say they refuse to honor my dollar. The courts will make them. Bitcoin is, a crypto token that can be traded anonymously over the internet, which
it's really most useful for black market transactions.
Exactly. That's how a lot of cartels have been shipping their money.
It's how you buy drugs on the internet.
North Korea.
It's how you buy wives on the internet.
North Korea is heavily. All right, let me just keep running through countries while you keep naming bullshit you can buy.
Right. But I want to go back to North Korea for a second. Did you see that a vast majority of their GDP comes from the theft of cryptocurrency?
I did not see that. I thought they were pushing fentanyl.
Now, their top industry is literally online theft.
Good for them. I mean, there's got to be only like 100 or 200 guys working on that.
Right. I mean, how many computers can they possibly have there?
Oh, it's all in one room.
It is.
It's all in one room. You know it's in one room.
Right. Got one of those old dinosaurs that takes up like the whole storage unit.
There's like 100 people on treadmills in back keeping the power going.
Yeah, you got some guy there with like an abacus just like checking it, making sure it's still running.
When he logs on, you hear AOL dial-up.
The kids at home won't get that one. They've never heard that noise.
I had to teach a law school class and had to explain them what Hustler magazine was.
Really?
I had to do the
People versus Larry Flint?
No, Hustler versus Falwell. When they did a cartoon of the Reverend Jerry Falwell having sex with his mother.
It was very tasteful.
Oh, yeah, for the articles.
So back to this theft. You talk about a pump and dump, talk about a rug pull. But let's break it down for the people. All right, how does that look for the billionaires in this process, for the Treasury in this process, and then two other groups, the retail investors that are currently throwing their money at Bitcoin, and then you and I, the average citizen?
Okay. So the large money backers already have a large wallet of Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. When somebody comes in and tries to buy up 5% of that market, every one of those coins is going to go up 5x in value.
Right.
So that is huge for those large whales. Now, downstream, insiders at the White House are going to know which coins are going to be bought. So the White House people are going to buy those coins. Then the Fed's going to come in and buy those coins after that, racing all those coins up, whether or not it is Bitcoin, Ethereum, or another blockchain. So they get insider knowledge of where the government is going to be buying. Additionally, it's going to flood the market with gold. So everyone that's got gold is going to get hit.
I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah. You don't think of that all that gold hitting the market at one time?
The supply goes up. The demand hasn't changed. The price craters.
Right.
That's basic economics 101.
So anyone that's been holding on to gold, or your grandma over there with the plates and the knives and all that, that's going to hurt.
Yeah. And honestly, it's the elderly disproportionately that invest in rare earth metals.
Right. Gold, silver.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the advertisements on it.
Right. Buy gold. Protect yourself. Your paper is paper. Nothing more than paper. And by God, if you don't believe me, go talk to Alan Greenspan.
Have you been staying home sick, listening to the Fox News?
That's actually a movie quote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from the snowboard movie Out Cold.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Charles Barkley, you can't just say anything. This isn't Fox News.
This isn't Fox News. God, he killed the NCAA coverage with that. Which, by the way, congratulations on your Sweet 16 berth.
Congratulations on your Sweet 16.
The state of Alabama making out like gangbusters, as is the rest of the SEC.
7 teams out of 16.
Out of 16 is ridiculous. Anyway, so that's a good point about the seniors. I hadn't thought about that. What does it do for the retail investors that have been putting a percentage of their check every week in say, stocks or Bitcoin? If
they've been putting it in stocks, they'll be hosed. If they've been running risky crypto scams, they'd love it. It depends on how aggressive that retail investor has been. If he's been playing by the old school rules of putting it in index funds, S&P 500s and all that, he's going to be screwed.
Right.
If he's a crypto bro, he's going to love it. He's going to run out and buy a bunch of stupid shit, put Trump logos on it, and say Trump made him a millionaire.
But isn't it also true, it kind of like the dot-com bubble? You had a lot of paper millionaires that all of a sudden weren't.
Yeah.
So isn't the idea with the pump and dump you don't get caught holding? Because obviously, if you get left holding the bag, you don't make money.
Well,
you got to be that
here's the
first
thing.
people that go out, right?
Yes. Here's the thing. The people that are going to be caught holding are the American taxpayers.
Right. But also retail investors. Because like Trump's inner circle, they know when the rug pull is going to happen. And I want to come back to this later, but how is that any different than like insider investing that Nancy Pelosi's done?
It's not.
I didn't think it is either.
It's if you know a bill is set to pass before Congress that's going to give a company $500 million and it'll, make them stable for 2 years and increase their output 10x. Oh yeah, go in there and buy a couple shares. I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, people go into Congress not being billionaires, but they come out.
They sure as hell come out
Yeah.
really wealthy.
Yeah. I mean,
All of them.
Yes. Tuberville was the number one insider trader last year, I believe.
It also doesn't hurt when you come in with like college football head coach money that you can then throw into that insider trading.
Tommy Tuberville and his college football head coach.
He's spending that Auburn money.
That Auburn money. They're probably still paying him for losing everywhere.
So, well, like I was saying, even if you're one of the crypto bros that are like a paper millionaire overnight, unless you get out at the proper time, you got nothing to show for it.
Well, what's going to happen? Yes, it is all about timing, because the Trump administration people are going to get in early. The Treasury is going to buy, pump it up, and then they're going to sell everything.
The Trump folks, not the
Yes,
Treasury.
the Trump folks. The Treasury will hold it, and those coins would be worth dog shit. But everybody else will make out like bandits.
So is the idea from a Treasury perspective that this is just a placeholder for wealth, similar to gold, and we need to diversify?
Yes.
Or is it, the price of Bitcoin explodes, the Treasury sells, and then we pay off the debt? Which I don't even know that obviously they're the government. They could do whatever they wanted.
You can't.
I'm just saying, what's the end game from like a Treasury perspective? I understand the end game for the billionaires that be.
The Treasury has no end game. It's
a pawn.
Yeah. It's their only goal. They're going to say is to diversify governmental bonds or something like that.
Right.
To hold,
protect American sovereign wealth, to diversify.
Yeah. It's just like gold or silver. These cryptos. It's the same thing. They're trying to legitimize crypto as a commodity.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a bunch of bullshit, because at the end of the day, it's still a non-enforceable token that's mainly for black market trading.
So I agree with everything you're saying, but let me play devil's advocate for a bit. Favorite role.
Talk to me, Satan.
How is it? So with gold and silver, it has value because we agree collectively that it has value. The dollar has value because we agree collectively it has value. Like if we think back to the Civil War, Confederate money was worthless by the end of the war. You couldn't spend it anywhere, and that's because everyone agreed it was worthless. And part of that was experience and economics, and then others is like the perception of what has value. To use another extreme example, there's a Polynesian island where their currency traditionally were these huge-ass stones that they couldn't move, like literally the size of cars, houses. And so they would trade these stones in the economy. That was like the common currency. And rather than picking up the stone and taking it to your house, you just knew that you owned this particular stone in this particular place that you could then trade for goods and services. So my point is, money or anything only has value so long as we collectively agree that it does. So how is Bitcoin any different?
I'm going to disagree with you on gold and silver, because gold and silver have a commodity value attached to them. You can use gold for transistors. You can use
That's true.
gold for it's one of the highly conductive metals. Like, it's a very useful industrial metal.
It is.
Same with copper, same with silver. You
That's a
can
good
use
point.
them to make things, which for me is the ultimate value is, can you use this to make something better? gold, silver, copper, all can.
It's also tangible. Does that count for anything?
I believe it does. If you can touch it, feel it, and throw it,
It's real, so to speak.
Yeah. So Bitcoin for me is more like a baseball card or Beanie Baby or something like that. That's something that is determined by the value of other people. But the reason the value is there is because it's quicker to move money between places
In an untraceable manner.
And honestly, it's a failure of the banks for not getting their shit together and moving money bank to bank faster and dragging their feet and hiking fees. So if banks were better at their jobs, I would definitely see kind of a less need for Bitcoin.
Let's take it out before we get to the effects on the average person that's maybe not dabbling in Bitcoin. Do you think the idea behind Trump, Musk, Peter Thiel, the people that are driving forces behind this, do you think the idea is that hopefully some other countries follow suit, create a strategic Bitcoin reserve of their own, and then we were at the leading edge of that, therefore our own Bitcoin reserve, sort of like that leading indicator where everyone else is coming in?
No.
And then you have an explosion of like 100x on Bitcoin?
No.
You don't?
I think this is a pure
pump and dump in the
and
next
dump.
2 years and get out.
Yep. Yeah, I think everyone's trying to figure out how to steal as much money from the American government right now as possible.
The other option is they're not actually serious about it, and they do it to pump up the price of Bitcoin in the short term.
That's also, yeah.
That they
Why
never
not?
actually spend any
'Cause
American
I would think
treasuries.
you'd have to pass a congressional bill to use our gold reserve.
If there's one thing that I'm sure about,
Is that we don't need to do any bills anymore because that doesn't matter?
right, or at a minimum that we're not sure that it matters constitutionally anymore. Yeah, I guess John Roberts will get back to us on that one, won't he?
Yeah. You don't, judges are kind of there for whatever.
Yeah.
I guess you can kind of listen to them, but screw it. Let's just do what we want.
It was over international waters. You can't tell me what to do.
Oh yeah. Captain's law.
So what happens when the rug pull happens? What is the result for the rest of us? We poor plebes without billions and billions and billions to bail
If you're
ourselves
not in the
out.
club, you're going to be left holding the bag. And so, a lot of people that jump on board that try to follow this MAGA train, there will be some people that win,
Yeah.
but most people are going to lose.
They're going to win by accident.
Yes. It's all about timing. And then it's all about getting out before the rug pull. And then,
So let's say you get out before the rug pull. What's the economic fallout for the economy generally, for the average Alabamian, as you like to say? I mean, is that something we could even predict?
I don't know. Because you're losing that much gold reserve would definitely impact like our bonds.
Yeah.
For sure. That is more dangerous. Like if the American Treasury bond drops in value, that's more dangerous. And if they screw around with it and start hurting our Treasury bonds, that's some serious. That's something I haven't thought about. Is if the Treasury, 1 year, 10 year, 20 year, 50-year notes all start cratering because
Yeah.
they lost their gold reserve that backs them along with the government because of a crypto bubble scam, you're looking at the entire collapse of the American financial system.
Yeah, it's one of those odd things because the gold in Fort Knox is not actually doing anything except giving people some peace of mind.
Well, it backs every bond note
Yeah.
that is issued. I mean, that's not nothing.
It's not. I mean, it just sort of hangs out there and is like a placeholder for value.
Back when, we collected it all when we had a gold standard.
Yeah.
Because we had to. And then Nixon took us off the gold standard. And now we just have a shit ton of gold sitting around. But if we put it back on the market, we're going to flood the entire world with gold.
Right.
Um,
I just... all I think it does practically is open up that reserve to a tremendous amount of downside risk.
Yeah.
Gold has been a safe, stable investment for literally millennia. We have this Johnny-come-lately asset class with no real proven practical application. So I just think you're playing with fire that essentially all this will go poof and just be gone.
I think that's what the Trump administration wants.
Well, then the idea is if you couple that with a cratered American economy, which we think is coming, there's certainly a recession on the horizon. I think more than 50% of economists agree with that at this point. The question is, how deep does the recession go? Do we reach depression?
Listen, only the best geniuses know
That's true.
How far down this thing's going to go. But
it must be at least $1 billion to be a genius.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, if that happens, there's a simultaneous depression. Let's say lots of people lose their jobs. There's a mortgage crisis. There's a bunch of foreclosures. If you've made out like a bandit on this crypto pump and dump scheme, you can essentially buy the fucking country.
Yeah.
All of it.
Labor goes to shit.
Yeah.
Like you can pay for anything.
Property values crater because of mass foreclosures. You can buy up streets of land.
You have 80 wives because they all need to eat.
Right.
And then
have to move to Utah for that one, but
I mean, you don't have to. You just have to have them, live kind of near you. Not even call them their wife. Baby mama, whatever.
Side piece.
Yeah, Elon does it. How many kids does he have now?
Carry the 2. I have no idea.
Yeah, he just came out and slammed one of them.
Oh, the one that's trans.
Yeah,
the one that he said is dead to him.
The woke mind virus guy.
Yeah, killed my son Xavier.
Ooh, that was dirty.
What a piece of shit.
He would name his kid
Father of the Year there. Of course, it was something with X.
X. God.
Douche.
Did you know when he comes out and does that stupid jumping jack, that's supposed to be an X?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. I just thought it was like a tick or something.
I thought it was a tick too. It's him trying to be X.
Oh. Oh, dear God. He's the most cringe-worthy person.
He's the perfect example of why we need more bullies.
He needed a good bullying.
He needed a good bullying back in high school.
It would have done him some good.
Bring back the nice 80s bullies that kept those guys in line.
Right. Little Tom in a trash can would have leveled old Elon out.
Oh.
So, yeah, we got a situation that's scant on details, but certainly scares the hell out of me. And this is one thing that, just to be frank, I don't think ever comes to fruition. But
don't say that, man. Like the things they've done that I said will never come to fruition, have all come to fruition.
Right. They make a liar out of a bunch of people that way.
Every time he throws something out there, everyone's like, "Oh, he's joking." Oh no, he'll never do that. It's a funny joke.
That's truthfully how we got here in the first place. No one taking seriously what they say. But in this situation, I also see it as a Bible.
I'm taking it very seriously,
and you should. But I'm saying if we play it out logically, I think it's equally as likely that their total goal is to like short-term pump and dump, almost like Elon did with Twitter, saying, "Oh, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it." And then the price goes up, and then you've made some money, but perhaps less than certainly less than you would have if you used U.S. Treasury.
Speaking of Elon's Twitter pump and dump, have you noticed how that lawsuit magically disappeared?
Oh, yeah. As did all the other investigations of Elon's companies.
Yep.
I mean, it just goes to show the purpose of Elon buying Twitter was never to make money. It was to gain control over the algorithm and the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the purpose. He bought a fucking utility. He didn't buy a company for profit.
And I thought Google was going to be okay fighting back, but they're going down that rabbit hole too.
Well, I think as we've talked about, we have 2 classes of citizens in America. And every person listening to this is a second-class citizen, unless like Grok or ChatGPT is listening to this, at which point, in fact,
overlords.
Yes, Skynet. But billionaires have a different set of rights. Politicians have a different set of rights. And corporations have a different set of rights. Those are the upper crust of American society. Right, it's not us.
Can we talk about our local politicians here for a second?
Love to.
There was a town hall put on by, I think it was Birmingham Indivisible.
Yeah, that's exactly who it was. Birmingham Indivisible.
Who, if people don't know this, it's a local progressive type of movement trying to do something.
I don't know much about them or what their goal is, but what I do know is what you're alluding to is that they invited our elected leaders here to speak to us.
Yeah, they invited 4 of them. They invited Gary Palmer, Terry Sewell, Katie Britt, and Tommy Tuberville.
By the way, I've never even heard of any of those people having a town hall where I would have a meaningful opportunity to speak with them.
Exactly.
And we would have had all 4 here in Birmingham. And you and I intended to go.
I bought 30 pieces of silver.
Why didn't we go, General?
I didn't go because I had the flu. You know,
Why didn't anybody go?
NCAA basketball.
That's true. But
And
the
they
point
also didn't show.
Yeah, they didn't show up. They didn't care to talk to you. I mean, it just goes to show that none of these people, not Terry Sewell, the Democrat, not Palmer, not either of the senators, Britt or Tuberville, they don't give a shit what you think. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit what you have to say. That's why they didn't come to talk to you. That's why they never come to talk to you. They don't need to.
There's also, I think they're afraid. There's no way they can handle that heat.
Yeah. Oh, they'd get their ass jumped.
They're not smart enough to handle that.
No.
Or clever enough to like sit there and actually do the job.
I was going to challenge Tuberville to a duel.
You go for it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way he couldn't hear that coming.
Right.
But yeah, Katie Britt is supposed to be the reasonable one in the room.
She didn't show.
She didn't show.
The disappointing one for me, and it would have been a layup for her, is Terry Sewell.
No, she'd have gotten smoked.
Dude,
too.
it's in Birmingham.
I'd have smoked her.
I would have too. I'd have thrown rocks at her. You know, I've been living here for a decade, and I've not seen hide nor hair of you.
What? I can't name
I don't know what you do.
Yeah, there's never been a
I've never seen an
legislation.
interview. Right.
Yeah.
I've never seen you champion a cause. I've never seen an interview from you. I've never even heard of you being present in our district for an event.
Right.
None of these people give a shit about you, what you think, what you have to say, what you want, what's in your best interest. If they did, they'd have came and had a conversation with you.
I mean, that's what we're trying to do is we're trying to start something, get something going on that actually is a reflection of the people.
We're trying to do something different because those motherfuckers ain't it.
And people are suffering.
Yeah.
And it's just not right. It's not good for Birmingham. It's not good for the state.
It's not good for representative democracy,
Well,
which the House of Representatives is.
If you look back in when America was founded, I believe it only took like 500 people to elect a representative.
Yeah, small.
You had really small towns, and like you knew the guy.
And now it's like 593,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah, like you'd have to know the guy to be like, we'll send Tom over here down the road.
Yeah, he's got the farm, 2 spots down.
Yeah, and they kept doing it until they ran out of seats.
Had to cap it at 435.
At 435. But if we had representatives we knew that could look us in the eye and then tell us why they screwed up, I think that would make them a little more accountable.
I agree. Or even that even that felt even a remote need to engage with the people they represent.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to write one of these people? Have you ever tried to call their office?
Oh,
you
it's
get
the worst.
nothing.
It's the worst. And you get a rubber stamped.
The most patronizing bullshit response.
Yeah. They've got a preloaded email to fire back at you being like, we thank you for your blah, blah, blah.
And the reality is every single one of these people know that it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter. Their seat is safe. They're coming back to Washington.
Yeah.
They're going to get a chance to pump those billions out of insider information. They're going to get the chance to pump and dump crypto and insider trade and all the things that they want to do to set themselves up at the expense of you. And that's where we're at all the way across the country with very few exceptions.
I think a lot of people out there want to change.
Everybody wants to change. They just don't know how.
I think if we show them how.
Bite the hand that feeds you.
Yes.
That's how.
Yeah. Kick and stomp and scream.
Band together. Get in groups. Organize. Unionize. Billionaires are more powerful than any one of us individually. But what they're not is more powerful than us collectively. Because definitively, they got more dollars, we got more numbers. And at the end of the day, the weight of numbers will win out.
I believe a group of highly passionate people are way more effective than an asshole with a bunch of kids.
I do too.
So, and that goes for Trump and Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? Have we noticed? Like, I haven't noticed or realized that both of those guys are creepers with a bunch of kids from a bunch of different women.
Yeah, perennial reproducers.
Yeah.
Does that go to like the inherent narcissism? Like once you're that wealthy, you think you're so important that you have to procreate and spread your genes into the, the ever after. You feel like you owe it to the world to procreate exponentially.
No, I just don't think you care.
Elon does that. Well, I mean, he talks about it like he feels like it's his duty to spread his seed far and wide.
Oh.
No, it's disgusting.
Don't talk about Elon's seed.
Seed. I know.
Oh, God.
People at home are vomiting.
Autistic asshole.
I mean, that's really it, though. That's all I've got on the gold/strategic.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep you all informed about all the weird shit coming down the pipeline. And
we actually get a bill. We might do an addendum to this episode and let you know what's in it, maybe.
All right. You want to do an addendum?
Addendum. Right. Follow up. P.S.
All right. Well, I'm the general.
I'm the judge.
And we'll talk to y'all later.